Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silverslayer. Welcome, Silver Stackers across the world, for a very informational, educational, and hopefully entertaining video. I got some interesting stuff for you guys today. This shows Critical's vital role in making the world go round, but not only that, for the future. Not only for the future of technology like 5G towers, electric vehicles, companies like Tesla, not only just solar panels, silver lithium ion batteries, not only just your laptops, your cell phones, but also the medical world. Silver nanoparticles, colloidal silver. Back in biblical ancient days, they saw silver as magic. They thought silver was magical. That's why the gold to silver ratio is 2.5 to 1. 2.5 parts silver equals 1 part gold, because silver was just as valuable as gold. Silver can do a lot more than gold can. Silver is the most highly conductive metal for thermal conductivity, electricity, and light sensitivity. So when we look forwards, scientists are going to keep discovering more reasons for silver. And this article shows a lot about that. We also have another article talking about more uses for silver. Make sure to like this video, comment, and share it. Usually when I cover videos like this, unfortunately and interestingly enough, these videos don't get as many views as my normal videos, and I think these types of videos are more interesting. It really shows silver's, what silver can do. But, for some reason, these don't get as many views, so make sure you like and comment on this video, because this is definitely going to be extremely educational for anyone who truly loves silver. Now, before we start, I launched a second channel called Silverslayer Clips, where I post 15 30-second videos of my personal silver stack. Yesterday I posted I busted out a whole bunch of coins, and it was a really fun video. Probably around 100 ounces of silver I showed in that video. Unboxed some rare coins. I post anything. I could post throughout my day, videos of my daughter, other things I collect. Yeah, it's just a really fun channel. I think you're going to like that. I'm also about to hit 45K. We're so close. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm about to do my 45,000 subscriber giveaway. If you want to support the channel one step further, PayPal and Bitcoin address is in the description below. Watching the video is more than enough, but it's there just if you want to donate and be kind. So, silver nanoparticles change shape and get consumed when destroying bacteria. What an interesting title. What an interesting headline. What does that all mean? We're getting new insight into how this metal acts against pathogens. Now, colloidal silver and silver nanoparticles is huge. It's used in medical wall paint. It's used to purify water. I mean, it does so many things that a lot of people don't know about. Silver isn't valuable just because it's shiny, right? New research is looking into the interaction between silver nanoparticles and E. coli bacteria as a new possible solution to the growing levels of antibiotic resistance seen in pathogens. Although the antibacterial effect of silver has been known for some time now, we didn't understand why it had this effect. Silver has seen growing use for the pathogen control in the last few years, and things such as antimicrobial coatings, for example. So far, it definitely seems to be good at the job of killing these tiny threats. Still, a better understanding of how and why it can protect from microbes could help us better apply silver to the task, right? So silver is just going to be needed more and more and more. It is definitely one of the most important assets, well, by far the most important asset, but one of the most important components in the world in general. In order to glean this information, a team of researchers monitored the interactions between silver nanoparticles and the culture of E. coli bacteria. According to the results, silver nanoparticles undergo several dramatic changes in properties such as size and shape while interacting with bacteria. Silver for the monsters. Concerning the issue of antibiotic resistance, silver poses a very exciting prospect in that it physically kills bacteria, not chemically or as our drugs do. In other words, pathogens don't have any way of defending themselves against silver. Silver is so interesting. It's so interesting. An international team of researchers with members from Italy, the United States, Singapore, report that silver nanoparticles go through several dramatic changes when interacting with E. coli bacteria. This goes against the current prevailing wisdom that the metal remains unaltered during such interactions. And actually, I remember reading an article a couple months ago. Scientists found a way to make silver 40% stronger without losing any electrical conductivity. That's insane. That is insane. Silver is definitely a precious metal, and it's not like gold that's just used for jewelry, right? Earrings, necklaces, stuff like that. Silver is mainly used in the industrial sector, stuff like this as well. These changes seem to originate in the electrostatic interactions between the silver and the bacteria. This causes some of the nanoparticles to dissolve and spread as ions in the environment, eventually making their way into the bacterial cells. Their shape changes as they dissolve, getting smaller and more rounded, and they start out as triangular shapes. After observing these mechanisms, the team treated their E. coli colony with a substance that increased the permeability of the bacteria's membranes and then tested them again. In this case, the effects on the silver were more pronounced, they explain. It seems from this study that silver is consumed from the interaction. One of the authors on this paper, So we think that this does not affect the efficiency of the biocidal process due to the tiny exchange of the mass. The lifetime is essentially unlimited. That is insane. Although the findings help us better understand the interactions between bacteria and silver nanoparticles, they're likely not the entire story. Laboratories are highly controlled environments, and such cannot begin to capture anything that's going on in the wild. These factors that are left out might have an important hand to play in shaping the final interaction between bacteria and silver. Even so, the team will continue to explore this topic with a particular interest in studying the chemical machinery inside the bacteria that cause these structural changes in silver. They also want to understand why silver is a more powerful antibacterial agent than other materials, and why bacterial membranes seem so vulnerable when our cells are almost unaffected. The paper, The Impact of Bacteria Exposure on the Plasmonic Response of Silver Nanostructured Surfaces, has been published in the journal Chemical Physics Reviews. What a weird name. The Impact of Bacteria Exposure on the Plasmonic Response of Silver Nanostructured Surfaces. That's a title book or something, or that is insane. But anyway, silver is just like nothing else. But anyways, let's jump into this other article that just talks about the many uses of silver. So the industrial demand for silver. Silver has many industrial uses, accounting for more than half of the annual demand worldwide over the last 5 years. And it's interesting to think that gold is like 67 times more valuable than silver, when silver is so much more important than gold. Silver does so much more than gold in the world, right? It's just so insane to think that silver is just so much cheaper when it's so much more important and relevant. This means that the economic growth can affect silver prices far more than it affects gold. Only 10-15% of annual gold demand comes from industrial use, where the rest is going to jewelry and investment. Because of silver's physical strength, brilliance, malleability, and it can be squashed or pulled into shape. People also use in jewelry, tableware. Industrial applications use silver's conductivity, blah, blah, blah. We've already talked about that. Today, silver is invaluable to solder and brazing alloys, batteries, dentistry, glass coating, LED chips, medicine, nuclear reactors, photography, photovoltaics, or solar energy, RFID chips for tracking parcels and shipments worldwide, semiconductors, touchscreens, water purification, wood preservatives, and many other industrial uses. That is insane. And the Silver Institute calls it the indispensable metal. The biggest consumers of silver for industrial applications this past decade have been the US, Canada, China, India, Japan, South Korea, Germany, and Russia. Over the time, silver demand from older industries has faded, only to be replaced by new technological uses. And that's something that is extremely important to take note of. A lot of times, people forget that new uses pop up when old uses fade. Some people are like, yeah, well, silver is going to get replaced but that's not the case. Nothing can replace silver, especially for as cheap as it is. Photographic silver use. Photography use to be the #1 end use of silver, using silver nitrate to create light-sensitive halide crystals. Sector includes consumer photography, the graphic arts, and radiography. We're talking about medicine and industrial inspection of heavy machinery. Photographic silver demand hits its peak in 1999, 25% of total fabrication, 93 million ounces of silver that year. And then within 5 years, photographic demand slipped below 20, fell to 9% in 2013. And see, that's one that, kind of slipped, but then more uses for silver peaked. So, that's just going to keep happening. And I can't see, as we advance in this new digital age, this new technological era, that silver is going to be needed less. It's only going to be needed a lot more. And we've covered a lot of articles talking about that. So photovoltaic demand for silver exploded on these taxpayer subsidies, and we're talking about, solar panels, the Green New Energy deal. We're going to be needing a lot of silver for that. By 2030, every new car is going to be an electric vehicle. A lot of silver for that. Even 5G towers. I mean, silver is going to be needed so much. Plus, not only that, individual investors like you and I. So with subsidies then cut as a financial crisis we're on, and with silver prices doubling in 2011, hit almost $50 per ounce, the all-time peak set in January 1980, silver industrial demand declined for 3 years running. Higher prices meant technology developed to use less silver in producing the same amount of solar power. This thrifting has now cut the quantity of silver by up to 80% per solar panel from a decade ago. So despite a rise in total solar panel production, U.S. photovoltaic demand for silver has actually fallen in recent years, which is interesting to think about. Even so, global photovoltaic demand for silver has grown at a compound annual rate of 20% over the last decade, and I can't see how moving forwards it's going to be needed a lot more. So medicine's growing silver use, right? Not falling, but silver is going to be needed more and more in the medical field as well. So many different, it's so crazy. When added to water, silver releases silver ions. These ions also kill and prevent biological growth, again, disabling metabolism of germs and hindering their membrane functions. The value of these properties have been known and used for centuries, right? I mean, centuries. The ancient Phoenicians, for instance, found that they could keep water and liquids fresh by storing them in silver-coated bottles. The American pioneers, 3,000 later, prevented dysentery, colds, and flu by putting silver dollars in milk bottles, right? It's so insane that people even back then knew. Even back then, centuries ago, 3,000 years later, prevented this from putting American eagles in milk bottles. Silver nitrate was used in the late 1800s to cure newborn babies of certain eye infections. During the 1920s, over 3 million prescriptions per year were written U.S. medications containing silver. That's crazy. Nanotechnology uses silver as an antimicrobial, reducing the metal to particles measured by billionth of a meter. This nanosilver acts as a catalyst for oxidation, generating oxygen from air. I mean, it is insane. So in sum, there is much more to silver than its historical use as a monetary metal or its ongoing use in jewelry and investment. Industrial and technological use of silver accounts for well over half annual demand. That demand plays an important and changing part in helping set long-term price direction. Man, talk about silver. I mean, how much more perfect of an investment can you get? You can't. Silver is the perfect investment, not only looking at this, but so many other angles as well, from the depreciating dollar. I mean, man, you can't get much better than that. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash that like button. Make sure you comment as well. Remember, follow my shorts channel, Silverslayer Clips, if you want to see some behind-the-scenes stuff with my silver stack. And also, my PayPal and Bitcoin address are down below if you want to throw me a tip for putting in all this hard work for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silverslayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.